Hello everyone, welcome to my session at We Do AI. Thanks so much to organizers that they made it happen, and it's really great to be on stage, and it's a recorded session, and I'm going to talk about very interesting part of Azure recently added, and it's about Microsoft Copilot for Azure. So let's learn together and stay tuned for learning more. Perfect. As I mentioned before, we are going to talk about Microsoft Copilot for Azure. So, as you know, Microsoft Copilot is the AI assistant, and it's really great to have it. And it's a great tool that help you to accelerate, and it's a great assistant to help you to get a very good overview on different resources, or let's say applications that you have in different part of Microsoft cloud technology. So I believe you already have had experience about Copilot for other part of Microsoft technology like Microsoft 365 or like Outlook, Teams, Excel, Microsoft apps. But now Microsoft released a new version of Copilot, which is for Azure, and it's super great. Before I start the presentation, I've got a lot of questions from different people, my friends, IT guys, and they ask, okay, this Microsoft Copilot for Azure is going to take our job, or it's going to be the expert person, or let's say expert AI in our Azure environment. So it's not like that. It's not like that. You think that you be, unhappy about that. Copilot for Azure is going to be your best friend, your tool, your assistant. So organization still needs experts in their environment, Azure experts. However, Copilot will help you to accelerate, and basically you can increase the performance of your activity inside your organization. So it's important to understand this Microsoft Copilot for Azure is going to help you to save time and enjoy working with Azure more and more. So don't worry about that, and try to get a good understanding of Copilot for Azure. And I hope at the end of this session, you go and start testing Copilot for Azure, which is super great. So before I go for the main presentation, small talk about myself. So my name is Said Dal, Senior Solution Architect at Opheads, and also I'm Microsoft MVP on Azure category for migration and also Azure Cloud. I'm Microsoft Learning Experts, and I'm community leader of Microsoft Zero to Hero and MS Farsi, and those are Microsoft Learning Rooms. So if you would like to join, aka.ms/join Zero to Hero, it's the short link of the community. So make sure that you join to that learning rooms. Also, I'm honored that I'm part of Global Azure board member, and we helping organizations to handle the events and run the global Azure every year. Beside that, I'm a technical reviewer of Pack Publisher. I believe you already heard about this publisher, a lot of great book, and it's great that I got this opportunity to be part of this great technical reviewer team. If you would like to connect me, just scan this QR code and you can get a lot of information like links, community rooms, and also you can connect me directly to LinkedIn and X or Twitter. So let's talk about me. Let's back to our topic, Azure Copilot. And this session, we are going to routing our way to Copilot for Azure. So for the first part, let's talk about Azure. Most of you are basically know about Azure, which is a great service, cloud service that basically provides you a lot of tools, services, and you can build and run different applications, services based on cloud, which is great for data scientists, developers, and you can leverage infrastructure or platform or even service, software as a service in great Azure cloud. And it's a powerful service that you can use for different scenario in your environment. Doesn't matter if it's full cloud or even hybrid cloud. So as I've mentioned, we already know about Azure, which is great. But how about Copilot? So basically we know about Copilot right now. That's true, right? So basically we at least work with Copilot in different applications, and we have some experience nowadays about Copilot. We can hear about Copilot everywhere, which is great. It's AI-driven virtual assistant, and it's available in most of Microsoft services across all platforms like M365 applications, and now in Azure. So basically, Copilot is your AI assistant. Once again, AI assistant. It's not going to be you in your organization. It's your assistant. That's why Microsoft call it Copilot. So now we want to talk about this combination of Azure and Copilot. This session, I named the session Routing Your Way. So root here, it stands for refine, operate, optimize, and troubleshoot. If you check Azure Copilot for refine, you can find Microsoft name it design, but I believe refine is a better name, and actually it can be included a lot of a wide range of things that you can basically use in your environment. So refine, operate, optimize, and troubleshoot. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about each part of this root concept. So let's start with the first one, which is refine. So when we are talking about refine, it means we have this opportunity to use Copilot for Azure to do a lot of things. So before I explain each part, the way that Copilot is working with Azure is basically Copilot leverage resource graph. Copilot has this option, or let's say this ability to get connection to your resource graph environment in your Azure resource graph, and use that resource graph to be able to retrieve the answers of your question. So which is great. So when we are talking about refine, we have a different part of this refine or design idea. For example, we can analyze the current architecture, or let's say Copilot scan or check all of the resources that you have in your environment, and basically it check all of these resources together and basically analyze how is your current architecture. And beside that, it used the architecture that it's already scanned to identify areas for improvement. And it's really great, and you can test it. So it gives you some information about your environment, and it provides you recommendation and best practices that Microsoft already mentioned them inside documentation and Microsoft Learn documents. Beside that, it assists you to deploying new resources. In this case, when we are talking about design or refine, is not going, if we are not talking about the actual deployment, we are talking about the way of deployment. So it helps you to get a good understanding of best practices, standards, and helps you to go through the deployment process step by step, and gives you great insight of each resources that you have in your environment, which is really great. And it's the service that helps you to be able to connect your resources in a very good way and scan them and make sure that you are in a good way of maintaining your resources based on the new data, or let's say new changes that Microsoft providing, like weekly basis, monthly basis, and so on. So that's the way that you can handle your Copilot for Azure for refine and design in your environment. So there is a demo that I have recorded, and in this demo, I ask a question regarding that: how can I automate Azure SQL database scaling based performance metric using Azure Function? The answer is really great because it's mentioned about some information based on Microsoft documentation. It gives me a really good insight about the way that I can do, for example, with Azure automation. And also it gives me some links that I can use that links to be able to get a good answer. And the feedback answer, which is pretty much important, you can leverage these feedback answers in a very good way. I ask what are the best practices for scaling Azure SQL database, and there are some steps. For example, working, determine the best answer, searching through the Microsoft documentation, and then based on the information that has been retrieved from Copilot, it's going to give you a proper answer based on your question. So after a while, you get a proper answer. For example, here it says when it comes to scaling Azure SQL database, there are two main strategies, which is horizontal scale and vertical scaling. And it's great because now you do not need to open any type of browser, start Googling around, or start reading the entire document of, for example, this scaling method of the SQL database. You can get answer very fast, but it doesn't mean that you do not need to read documents. I always encourage people to get to Microsoft documentation, Microsoft Learn, and learn more about services in deeply, not like in Surface. So make sure that you can you learn about each services in deeply. However, if you want to get answer very fast and in a good way, so Copilot for Azure will help you so much. Okay, let's back to the topic, and now we are going to talk about operate process. So operating your cloud environment involves meaning like day-to-day task, and you need to ensure that everything runs smoothly, right? This includes monitoring resources performance, managing workloads, and ensuring that your services are available and performing optimally. So like any admin, Azure admin in any type of environment, doesn't matter if it's small, medium, or enterprise. So Azure Copilot is designed, or let's say Microsoft Copilot for Azure is designed to assist you in these tasks by providing real-time insight, automating routing operations, and helping you to manage resources effectively. And with Microsoft Copilot for Azure, you easily monitor the health of your resources, set up alerts, and you can set up alert for critical events. You can automate response to common issue, and basically you can ensure compliance with the best practices. So by leveraging these capabilities, you can reduce the operational overhead and focus on more strategy initiatives that drive business value, which is amazing. So let's check another demo here. So in this demo, we are going to see how we can use operate in this case. We open Copilot and I have a question about help me to deploy a web application, or website. Microsoft Copilot suggested me to use and create LAMP stack on Linux. So I have this process like selecting subscription, selecting the deployment options. You have guided mode or quick mode. So for guided mode, it's guide you step by step. For deploy mode, it's going to deploy that automatically. So as soon as you click deploy, it's open the Cloud Shell, and basically it uses the Cloud Shell command to create resources. So I a bit speed up the video to make sure that we don't spend too much in this deployment. But as you can see, there are several steps. For example, in the left side hand, it says step 10 of 16. And in step 10, it's creating Azure SQL database for MySQL. Sorry, Azure database for MySQL for flexible server. And it's a normal AZ command, included all of those important variables that you need to use for LAMP. And yeah, 13 step is talking about networking, and then it's going to check virtual machine status if it's available or not, and then it's going to connect to create the Azure AD connection, and this is the result. So as you can see, it's created 10 resources, and it was great. So you just need to send a request. Copilot will take care of these deployment. So currently, maybe you faced some issue for the deployment, but Microsoft is working to improve this part, because as you know, we are talking about deploying solution based on a very different wide, scenarios. So we have to make sure that Copilot is enough flexible to create or deploy resources. But for some type of resources that are simple, Copilot will help you very good. So let's have another demo as well. So in this demo, I'm going to show you even for simple tasks, you can use Copilot, which I've asked change the theme of Azure portal to dark mode. So Copilot starting, changing the color of the theme of Microsoft Azure portal. And it's really great because you can imagine how much you can save your time. It's a kind of simple example to just tell you how you can, play around the Copilot services, or let's say Copilot commands and prompts. So the other question that I've asked in Copilot, I ask what are available themes that I can use, and it says, okay, there are several, Azure Blue, Light, and Dark. And then, as I've said before, make sure that you can use time to time this feedback answers, which is great, and it helps you a lot to save time. So with that said, I selected change my theme to blue, and it's changed it to blue one. So let's back to the presentation. Here we talked about operate, and it's time to talk about optimization. So optimization is key to getting the most out of your cloud investment, and it's super important. If you are dealing with a finance team, it's a great tool that you can leverage to get answer faster than before. So it involves enhancing the efficiency and performance of your resources, and it's ensuring that they are running at the peak capacity without necessary overhead. So Microsoft Copilot for Azure provides various strategy and tool to help you optimize your cloud resources, from performance tuning to like cost management. With Microsoft Copilot, you can analyze the performance of your applications, identify the bottlenecks, and receive recommendation to how improve the efficiency. So Copilot can help you to adjust resource configuration, scale resources dynamically, and also implement best practice to ensure optimal performance. By leveraging these capabilities, you can reduce costs, you can improve application responsives, and deliver better experience, user experience. You can get a lot of benefits from Copilot for Azure, and even some type of reporting. So in this case, since I wanted to give you some real world examples, so I just show you some screenshot of a big and real world environment. For me, it wasn't. I wasn't able to create some demo based on a very good real world scenario, but it's great. So we can check it out here. In left side hand screenshot, I've asked what are the cost saving recommendation for my subscription. So Copilot uses Azure Advisor and gathered all of those information that are related to the cost saving, provide them in a summary, and show it me in a very good way. And as you can see, they are clickable for the action part, so I can click them and go to that specific resource and make sure that basically I can do some action based on that resource. And I can see the potential saving in a very simple table, and some information around that. For example, saving are calculated based on retail rate for reservation and saving plans, which is a kind of best practice, or let's say some informative part of the Azure Advisor. In the middle image, I ask another question, like, can you provide a detailed cost analysis for the last month? And it gives me a very summarized information, which is included the total charge, the month, and also the top charges grouped by services. For example, here I have Redis cache, I have VPN gateway. It shows me the total of charge based on percentage, and even the price. And it's really great. So you can get a very good overview of cost of your environment, which helps you to optimize it in a very good way. So, and the last image that we have here, it's related to another question which I ask: display all managed disk unattached to any virtual machine. So it's a very good prompt Basically, if you work with Azure, with a big environment, you normally would have some, unattached disk, which is, making cost for your environment, and it's not connected to anything. It's not attached to anything. So you have to identify them and make sure that you don't have any unattached disk. Yes, you can create some policy to handle those kind of unattached disk. However, you can use Copilot. So in some cases, when you ask a question like this from Copilot, it shows you this small query. So first, it's going to run this query in behalf of you and trying to get some answer for you. However, in some cases, you can just press run and then it's open a new window that you can basically use resource graph and this query to check the information by yourself inside the Azure Resource Graph query. Also, if you would like to have a specific query, you just need to ask Copilot. And Copilot will give you a specific query that you are looking for and helps you to get answer for that particular question as soon as possible. Perfect. So let's back to the presentation and the last part here. Troubleshoot, which is super important, right? So troubleshooting is an inevitable part of managing any cloud, right? And it doesn't matter which cloud. Troubleshoot, it's always there and you have to deal with that. But here, Copilot changed the game. So issue can arise from various resources, correct? Such as configuration error, performance gain, bottlenecks, or unexpected failure. Here, Copilot for Azure helps you quickly identify and resolve these issues by providing insight and recommendation based on real-time data and historical trends. That's great, right? So you can easily find the issue in your environment, or at least it gives you steps to doing the troubleshoots. So it provides possible solution and guidance on how to resolve the issue, whether it's connectivity problem, performance issue, or configuration error. So Copilot can help you to diagnose the root cause and implement the necessary fix. This reduces a lot of time. This reduces a lot of downtimes, and you can ensure that your services remain available and perform in a good way. So this is a great tool. Let's say Copilot is your expert friend to help you to get resolved and fix problem in case of any troubleshoot in a very fast way. So again, for a real world environment, real world scenario, basically I have these 3 screenshots. So in this scenario, I had issue with logging to my VM via SSH. So I cannot connect to my VM via SSH. Please check what is the problem with my resource. As you can see, the first question that I got from Copilot says, which resource is it? So it will ask you which resources do you have the problem, because it needs to select that resource to be able to answer proper question to you or start checking the resource. So when it selected the resources, starting, working on different part of the resource, for example, network, maybe disk, maybe agent on VM, to give you a good answer. So it's a start to give me troubleshoot steps. So as you can see, it says step 1, network security, check network security, public address issue, maybe check firewall settings on OS side, review SSH log in your VM. Maybe you get some issue related to, SSH, handshake drop and so on, or try to restart SSH and then finally reboot your virtual machine. So it gives you a lot of steps that you can go step by step and find a problem. And then it gives me some information, more information about a network security group. For example, I ask, how can I check network security groups rules? And again, it gives me steps, and it's a kind of conversational process with Copilot, which helps me to troubleshoot, identify issue in a very fast way. So basically, if I go through these steps, you can find the answer of the issue that you are facing now. So basically, it's a very simple way, instead of checking different web pages, websites around the world, and like different websites, and make sure that you get answer, or maybe sometimes you cannot get the proper answer. And it's important that we can save a lot of times. Instead of googling around, you can easily get answer directly inside your Azure portal. Perfect. So let's have a better look of behind the scene of Copilot for Azure. So first of all, thank you so much to George Moore for this amazing diagram. I've copy and paste this great diagram from his article in Microsoft Learn. So if you want to get some more information, he deeply explained every components that you can see here. However, I can describe it in a very simple way, or let's say in like a summarized way. So here, metadata about the current navigational context is gathered to build a semantic understand of user question in the first part, which is, the Copilot front end. And then providing, grounding context for Azure OpenAI, which is related to infrastructure, which we're using. It's the same infrastructure of the other Azure OpenAI services. And then orchestration layer process, basically, the prompt for like responsibility AI selects the best match based on plugging and return it to user if it's relevant, or friendly error if not. So you may get a friendly error, and that friendly error it's a sign that maybe your prompt is not good, or the question that you are asking it's not a proper question for Azure Copilot for Azure. So when you send your request and it's reach to that level for the plugin store, the selected plugin runs, fetch the data, and return the answer, which the final response basically that it comes from AI. And before being formatted and displayed by the portal, it's somehow transformed to be able to be more accurate, or let's say close to the natural language of the human, to be able to show you. So as you can see in this diagram, Copilot for Azure leverage Azure Graph and Costo to access data under user context, which is super great. And it's a complex scenario, and you can see why Microsoft is still improving, because there are a lot of components working together to be able to give you the proper answer of your question. Perfect. Let's talk about managing access. Normally, you will see some error, or let's say notification about access management in Copilot for Azure Admin Center. So as you know, security and access management are critical components for any cloud strategy. So Azure, Microsoft Copilot ensure that your resources are secure and that access is managed effectively. It adheres to best practices, same as other resources, and compliance requirement, making it easier to control who has access to what and ensuring that your data is protected. So with Copilot with Azure, you can manage access to resources using role-based access control, RBAC. So it's like as the other resources that you have in Azure, you have to deal with RBAC, give access to different users. And basically, you can configure security policy, monitor potential security threats, or let's say Copilot provides recommendation how to improve your security posture and ensure security compliance. So with that said, when you want to give access to users, you have to make sure that you are not giving it's important. You have to make sure that you are not going to give access to all users, because as you can see, there is a small radio button here which says available to all users, and it means if you click it on, you make it available for all users, everyone in your environment will give access to your Copilot, which is not based on best practice. So the best way of to do that is turn it off and use role-based access control to give access to each users that you would like to give them access. And easily, if you go to RBAC, for example, in subscription, you can see the Copilot one and give access to a specific user. So make sure that you are not giving access to unnecessary users. When we are talking about working with AI, then we are talking about prompts. So why prompt is important? To get the most out of Azure Copilot, it's important to write effective prompts. So it should be clear and specific prompts to help Copilot understand your needs better and provide more accurate response. So if we want to check some tips, techniques, and make sure that we are going through the correct prompting in Copilot, for example, in this example, you need to be, clear intent. You need to start with a clear intent. Specify the resources, the action you want to perform, and any relevant details. For example, instead of saying in this example, instead of saying check performance, you can say check the performance of Azure SQL database in the last 24 hours. So you have to use specific terms and price about your requirement. So by providing detailed instructions and refining your prompts, you can get more meaningful help from Copilot. So make sure that prompts that you are using are good for understanding, good enough to for Copilot to understand what exactly you need to be able to get accurate answer. So the other part which I like it, so if you are using Azure application on your mobile, so let's say Azure mobile, you have Copilot option in your Azure mobile. It's super good, super good. So basically you have Copilot in your pocket. You just need to open your phone and just log into Azure application, mobile application, use Copilot for all of those part of that I already mentioned, refining, for troubleshoot, optimizing, or operation. So it's really great. Make sure that you test it, because you have everything that you need in your mobile phone. And if maybe sometimes you have not access to your laptop, so Copilot, your AI assistant, your AI expert assistant in Azure, will help you a lot to get answer, or let's say do changes in your Azure environment. So this part, which is related to some best practices. So to fully leverage Azure Copilot, it's important to follow best practices, and it's super important. So these practices ensure that you can maximize the benefits and capabilities of Copilot in your cloud environment. So if you want to discuss on some key best practices to keep in mind, that first of all, ensure that your prompts are clear and specific. This helps Copilot understand your requirement and provide accurate response. Second of all, regularly review and refine your cloud architect based on Copilot recommendations. So try to use Copilot like monthly to get good recommendations from Copilot for updating, maintenance, or changing the services. There are some deprecated services that you may need to fix some issue or change the type of the services. So Copilot will help you in this kind of content, or let's say this kind of situation. So third, automate routing tasks to reduce operational overhead and focus on strategic initiatives. And the reason that I'm saying that, Copilot will help you to do that. How? You can create prompt, save it somewhere, and every time that you need to get some proper answer from Copilot, instead of logging and then trying to connect to a specific service or get some answer, with that saved prompt, Copilot would give you the answer, and you do not need every time to write the new prompt and so on. So try to create a prompt library for yourself, so it helps you a lot. And finally, you have to stay informed about new features and updates to Copilot to continually enhance your cloud management capability. I believe by following these best practices, you can optimize your use of Azure Copilot or Copilot for Azure and achieve better results. So make sure that you are following these 4 best practices. So when we are talking about how to start, you just need to log into your portal and basically use Copilot for Azure. Maybe you don't have access to Copilot now, but basically you can fill it out a form which is from Microsoft, and then you can request an access to Copilot, and you will get access in like 24 hours. However, I believe Microsoft currently published Copilot in most of available tenants globally. But I will share the link of the request form in this screen. When it comes to the feedback part, maybe you think, okay, if I ask something from Copilot, is it going to share the information of my environment to Microsoft? what is going on in behind the scene. So no, if you ask something, Copilot never store your information, your environment information in somewhere in backend. But there is one case that basically Copilot share the information, and is if you want to share feedback. So there is thumb up and thumb down, like dislike, in each answer that you receive from Copilot. So if you use dislike and trying to submit the feedback, then there is an option there called yes share, and it's going to share the information, for example, the prompt and generated response in backend to help Microsoft engineers to see what was the problem to improve the service. So this is the only situation that basically you can Copilot will share the context, or let's say prompt and generated response with Microsoft Engineer in the backend. So this is the only situation that Copilot will save the data. So when it comes to current limitation, there are some limitations regarding the Copilot. So action on more than 10 resources must be done outside of Microsoft Copilot, which means like, let's say, a question regarding a graph. So if you want to Copilot start a query on a graph, maybe it's a long question with output, then Copilot will ask you to continue the query outside of Copilot, which is going to open a new resource graph to continue the query part. So currently also you are limited to 15 requests per chat and 10 chat per 24 hours. And then there are list of response are limited to top 5 items, and some tasks require the Azure Resource ID instead of resource names. So you may see some resource ID instead of resource name. And then finally, Microsoft Copilot is currently available only in English. So there are the limitation. Beside all of these good things around Microsoft Copilot for Azure, you also can leverage Microsoft Copilot for Azure Arc services. So if you onboarded your on-premise environment to cloud, you are able to use Copilot for Azure for getting information, start query about your resources, some maybe troubleshoot and so on, and it helps you a lot to do that. So make sure that you test Copilot for Azure in Azure Arc as well. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, and hope you enjoyed this session. And I hope you learned more about Microsoft Copilot for Azure, and you use Microsoft Copilot in Azure in daily basis work, and for your task, for optimization, for any new refine or design. If you would like to connect me again, just scan this QR code. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Contact me via LinkedIn or any social media. And yeah, I hope you enjoy and have a great day.